Welcome to the Shaping Portsmouth podcast. Shaping Portsmouth is a collaboration of key Portsmouth businesses transforming Portsmouth together. Today's podcast is hosted by our CEO, Dave Humphries. So, welcome to today's Shaping Portsmouth podcast. I'm joined today by Hayden Taylor from Unloc, Jess Cowling from Unloc, and Serenity, who's involved in one of the Unloc programmes. So, welcome all.
Welcome to everybody.
Thank you very much for having us.
Exciting.
Good to have you here. So, for those that don't know, let's start off with what is Unloc. Hayden, you founded Unloc. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, happy to. It feels like a million years ago that we started Unloc. It's been a real roller coaster journey, but Unloc is all about helping young people to be change makers. And that sounds quite grandiose, but really what we're trying to achieve is help young people to shape their own life, but also the world around them. And we want to help young people develop that sense of connection to purpose, which we know is so difficult to connect with. You know, so many young people are passionate about a whole range of issues, but don't necessarily have the vehicle to do something about it. So our programs in schools and colleges and universities develop young people's skills, their confidence, that connection to purpose. And then we have support for young people who then want to step up to be change makers. So we have longer programs that do exactly that. So you can set up a business, start a charity, run a community project, engage with social action, whatever it is, so long as it's about, you know, young people making a positive difference and being drivers of change, which is kind of aligned to our journey, right? Me and Ben Dowling, my co-founder, started this when I was 16 and he was 19, and we had no clue what we were doing. So what we really want to do is create the platforms where any young person who's got a great idea has the support, the funding, the people around them, and the training to actually make that idea a reality. So that's the idea. That's the premise.
So what on earth inspires you and Ben to set up something like Unloc in the first place? How did that come about?
It's a great question. And it came from necessity, I think. So I was 15 at the beginning of our story, really, and Ben was 17, nearly 18, and we were part of an amazing group called the Council of Portsmouth Students. It was this incredible forum of young people from every school, college, pupil referral unit, and it was super inclusive as well. I, to be honest, was kind of gliding through education and found that I didn't find real purpose in school. I wanted a bit more, really, and it was the Council of Portsmouth Students that gave me that outlet. But the funding for that programme effectively disappeared, along with a huge chunk of our youth service back in 2012. And I think Ben and I felt like we had no other opportunity, we had no other choice, really, other than to do something to keep this programme alive. But also we knew that other opportunities of young people, you know, the stuff that we really cared about as we were growing up, were disappearing. So it was up to us, or we felt it was up to us to do something about it, and that's where Unloc was born.
So the very thing that you're trying to instill in young people across not just our city, Portsmouth, but all over the country, is the exact journey you went in that caused Unloc to exist in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I wanted to be an architect. If you've seen me draw anything, you'll know that I've actually got a lucky escape in pursuing the carear that I now have.
The rest of us have had a lucky escape.
Yeah, you have. The rest of you have had very lucky escapes. You'd have very wonky buildings otherwise. But yeah, so that journey, our own lived experience, has driven everything that we do. You know, and there are so many incredible young people out there that have great ideas that could genuinely be huge influencers in their community, that could run incredible programs and projects that engage other young people if they just had the right support. You know, we started Unloc with 300 quid.
Yeah.
That was the micro grant that we got that has now unlocked, you know, a decade of action. You know, we've supported over 100,000 young people from that 300 quid starting point. So if we can do more to give young people the platforms they need to express themselves and to drive change in their communities, I think, you know, all of our communities up and down the country, especially in Portsmouth, will be brighter and more prosperous as a result.
Yeah, it's a brilliant story, and well done for doing it. So, Jess, you work at Unloc. What's your role? What's your role at Unloc?
So I'm a program facilitator at Unloc, focusing around leadership and youth voice. So I do lots of different programs and projects in and outside of schools and colleges. And one of the projects that I am leading on with my colleague Beth is the Inspiring Change program, which was kindly funded by OPCC. And we were very fortunate to have a young person, Serenity, as part of that project. And the whole purpose of the project is to engage with a diverse group of young people across Portsmouth. Who have experienced youth violence prior, and be able to tackle the youth violence that they see in Portsmouth. So with this, we were able to give the grants that Hayden was talking about, give £500 to each group to be able to make that change, to encourage more young people to engage with different services, engage with the grants that we've got available, to make a difference in Portsmouth. So we've got 4 groups as part of this project, and Serenity is one of those groups.
Ah. So before we focus in on what Serenity's doing and that programme particularly, how did you end up working for Unloc? What led you to Unloc?
Yeah, so my journey at Unloc, I've been here for about 2.5 years now. I was working as a learning support at a school previous, and I saw this as an application. And I originally started at Unloc as an assistant facilitator. And I was working with my line manager, Katie, alongside her in one of the big projects that we were running, the Peer Action Collective. And throughout the process, I then developed my skills alongside Unloc, which then led to me being a programme facilitator full-time. And I'm now still here now.
Excellent. And of course, not only are Unloc one of Shaping Portsmouth's fabulous partners, but we're also co-located, so we sublet off of you and we live in your offices, and we get to see the wonderful work you do with young people day in, day out, and some of the great stuff that goes on.
And likewise the other way around, Dave, it's great having Shaping Portsmouth teammates and community partners coming into the Changemaker studios we've got in the Portsmouth Guildhall, making use of that space, engaging with the young people we're working with.
Yeah.
It's a partnership made in heaven, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And such a great location, Portsmouth Guildhall, such a great building to be in. So, Serenity,
Hello.
Tell us a bit about you. How have you ended up working on this programme with Unloc?
So I was living in a hostel when I first came to me, and they just kind of spoke to us about what they do, who they work with, etc. And it was just something that I was really interested from the get-go, just like hearing that I can, they explained what projects they've done in the past, what other people have done in the past. I was just like, yeah, that's really something that I want to do. And I kind of stuck with it through that, even after I moved out of the hostel and stuff.
So how old are you, Serenity?
I'm 19.
You're 19?
Yeah.
And you finished at school?
Yeah, finished school, did college and everything,
So the programme itself, it's the OPCC, and for those who don't know the acronyms, that's the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner, Inspiring Change programme, which is focused on youth violence.
Yep.
So why have you got involved with the youth violence programme?
So I've experienced it and seen it firsthand quite a bit as well. Live in central Portsmouth. I'm sure a lot of people would know there is a lot of that at the moment anyways, as it is. So you'd see it a lot and you do experience it as well occasionally. So.
Okay. And so you've got involved with the programme.
Yep.
And what exactly have you done?
So we started off and there was a bit of back and forth and we didn't actually know what we were going to do. And then it went from a group of 4 or 5 of us just down to me in the end. And then I was just like, I want to do a podcast. I want to just be able to speak, and I want to be able to have other people speak up about their experiences as well, because I know that's not easy at all. So.
Okay, so you've got access to the grant from Unloc.
Yep.
And you've decided to go down the podcast route.
Yep.
What's that going to look like? Who are you going to be talking to on the podcast?
So I've already got 1 episode out, and I brung in just a guest who was a friend. She spoke about her experiences. We had to talk about some other just general experiences as a whole and general opinions. And then I'm just looking to bring in more guests at a time, and just get their stories and get their experiences and sides of things as well.
So. Is this about raising awareness?
Raising awareness, yeah, kind of, and giving people, reducing that stigma of not being able to talk out.
I suppose at the heart of any problem is people not having the conversations that are necessary for people to understand what the problem looks like and solve it.
Yeah.
So obviously you've mentioned you've had some sort of experience of youth violence. What does youth violence in Portsmouth look like?
Well, it can look like a lot of things. I mean, we sat down and we spoke about it as a group when it first started. It can come under like actual physical violence, like knife crime, or just fights, stuff like that. But it can also come under like the stalking, the spiking in clubs, the sexual assault side of everything. It comes under like, it's a big branch of things.
Mm-hmm. I suppose people, when they talk about youth violence, probably automatically think of drug gangs and gang behaviour and that. Do you think that's a problem that exists in Portsmouth?
I think that's a stereotypical problem. Like, that's the one that's most commonly seen and spoken about, but there's a lot more underlying ones that aren't really spoken about as commonly as well. So,
and by doing the podcast, you hope to kind of raise more awareness of the different types
of, yeah, 100%.
So Hayden, from an Unloc perspective, why do Unloc want to be involved in this programme?
It's fundamentally linked to our mission, right? You know, there's an incredible young person in Serenity who has the potential to hopefully inspire other young people, right? And make a difference. So it all connects to that sense of connecting to your purpose as a human being, your social purpose, and being a change maker, and that's what Serenity's doing, right? You know, it would have been far easier for Serenity just to ignore this problem, to continue seeing the symptoms of youth violence and seeing the problem in her community and not doing anything about it. But actually, she's got a platform here in which she can start to turn the dial on the issue, and it starts with exactly that, talking about it. And I'd be really interested to know, Serenity, what do you think are the biggest problems in Portsmouth in terms of youth violence?
It depends on age bracket, because I think at the moment it's going up. The spiking in clubs is a big one at the moment. There's becoming like new ways to do it, new ways to not notice it. Like, it started off with just drinks being spiked, now people are walking around with needles. But then that leads on to the why they're doing that. It might be for a stalking reason or a sexual assault reason. So they kind of all connect in a way as well. So.
And I'm interested to know, you talked about like the power of conversation and just how, you know, what impact do you think it's going to have? Like, if I'm a young person, I decide to tune into your podcast, listening to other people share their stories, what are you hoping the impact will be?
That they'll notice that it's okay to speak up. Like, when my sexual assault happened, I was quite young. I didn't speak up to anyone about it for like a year, and it was just in my brain, it was just like tearing away. So I was like, I finally spoke up to someone. I realised how much of a change that can make to myself and the situation as well. So hopefully them hearing about other people like speaking up will help them be able to do the same as well.
I love that you're kind of connecting your own personal experience to, and that is so often the starting point, I think, for people wanting to do something to give back, is their own lived experience, their own frustrations with their community or symptoms of issues that they're seeing in their daily lives. So I'm really pleased that you've taken that opportunity and you're running with it.
Yeah, I've always found it really interesting, just with my own background. You won't know about my background, Serenity, but actually I've had a previous career in policing, so I've had something to do with violence. But I always find it interesting the way people differentiate between victims and survivors. And in policing, you're very much about victims. You get people to reflect back on what's happened to them, and it's almost re-traumatising and getting them just to look at what happened to them. Whereas support agencies tend to focus on people as survivors, and it's that next step to move forward, and it's the conversations that need to be had. And invariably, that causes people to then use their experiences to help others to go through that same journey to be a survivor as well. And it's a much more positive way of doing it. So, Jess, obviously Serenity is just one group in this particular programme. What's going on with the other groups? What else is this programme going to deliver for us?
So we do have the other group. So one of them is a group of rappers. So they have created their own rap song around knife crime. So a few of them have experience of knife crime happening in Portsmouth. So they wanted to spread that message in a different form that obviously young people can then connect with. So their rap song, they've created a music video for it. They've they've been amazing. They really have. And the idea is they want to share the message of raising awareness of the consequences of knife crime. But then alongside that, they want to create more opportunities for young people to engage with music, to channel their feelings and their emotions in something that could be in that creative process. So alongside that project, we've been working very closely with Music Fusion in that idea of promoting those opportunities that young people do have in Portsmouth. And in another one of those groups, we've had 2 amazing young people. Again, same scenario as Serenity. Started off as a larger group, it slims down a little bit. But they have created a sculpture all around raising awareness of the effects of peer pressure in young people. So their sculpture originally started off with a beach clean. So their beach clean, then they collected lots of materials such as cigarette packets, vapes, anything that they could then add to this sculpture. And the sculpture has kind of visualised the root causes as to why someone might pick up a vape, why someone might smoke, and that idea of peer pressure, but also all those other factors that come into that. And their sculpture is going to be displayed in Victoria Park, inviting anyone and everyone to come down and see it, and they're going to give a speech about why they created it, but also that chance to network, all the young people to then come together and talk about their own experiences as well. So very similar to Serenity's message, just having that conversation going.
A real win-win for the city there, because not only are we getting the message out about youth violence, we're also getting the beach cleaned as well
at the same time.
As part of it. And I saw the beach clean on your social media, so looked like a good turnout. There was a lot of I think I saw a picture of a whole bag of vapes. It was
I think in total it worked out 53 kilograms of rubbish just on one little patch of beach, and for an hour of cleaning. So
good stuff.
Incredible
stuff. Okay. And when can we expect to see the sort of outcomes of all of this? What's the timeline on the programme?
Very short closing. So end of the week is when the sculpture reveal is happening. So the 9th of August, and then the rappers are launching their music video and their song on the 14th of August. So it's all happening very, very quickly. But this stuff will be constantly shared. So we'll be sharing out lots of stuff, lots of case studies of the young people and the amazing stuff they've done. So it will all be on our Unloc page, our Unloc Instagram, social media. Everything will be shared, so we can celebrate all the hard work they've done.
Absolutely. By the time this podcast goes out on our channel, those will have happened. So people can go onto your social media and have a look. How do they find Unloc on social media?
Great question. We're on most channels. You can connect with us on Instagram. We're at Unloc_UK. On X or Twitter, Unloc UK on there. Same on Facebook. And of course we have a great newsletter as well, so if you're not signed up and you're not seeing all the incredible things that young people are doing to drive change in the community, then you need to be signing up ASAP for that. But we'll be sharing it across all of those channels as well as on our website, and I hope it inspires lots of other young people to step up and do something they're passionate about and that they care about. And I hope Serenity's story inspires kind of a ripple effect across the city.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly with our ongoing mission around transforming Portsmouth together and making Portsmouth the #1 UK city in which to invest, live, learn, work and visit, everything that you're doing at Unloc fits so nicely with that mission. And, young people are our future, and it's great to have a partner so focused on young people and change making. What we do in all of our podcasts is, before we finish, is we ask, because we're passionate about Portsmouth and our city, we ask for people for their Portsmouth recommendations. So Serenity, for people that maybe don't know the city or someone that wants something different to do, what will be your one recommendation of something to do in Portsmouth? Place to go.
Well, that's a tricky one.
Something to do. What do you like?
I like going to the top of the hill.
The top of the hill.
Yeah.
The view.
The view is beautiful.
And of course you've got the very famous Mixed Monster Burger
Focus.
bar up there, up on the hill. So an absolute favourite, and one that's not cropped up at all yet. So that's a really good shout. The north of the city often gets forgotten. So well done, brilliant one. Hayden, what about you? Where would you recommend someone to go in Portsmouth?
It's a great question. For me, you've almost certainly had it before, but that long walk along the promenade, from the South Parade Pier all along, right the way through into Old Portsmouth, and then on towards the kind of the quayside there. I think particularly on a warm day, which we've been pretty lucky the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's just stunning, and you've got all that kind of rich naval history coming to life in front of you. That for me is an ideal way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So you join Marianne in the shaping team with that one.
Love that.
The Millennium Walk. That was her favourite. It is a great walk, and there's, as you say, the naval history, but there's just so much to see along that route as well, with both the piers, the fairground, the hovercraft, Old Portsmouth, and you obviously finish up at Gunwharf if you follow it all the way as well. So
absolutely,
so much going on. What about you, Jess? What would you recommend someone to do in Portsmouth?
I would recommend. I'm a big fitness goer. I love doing anything running, fitness orientated. So all the running groups are amazing. Park Run, amazing. So like just engaging with all the things that we've got going on in Portsmouth, and again with that beach factor, the common. There's loads of things that happen, and all around fitness. So that community aspect, getting everyone to go together. So that would be what I recommend.
Yeah, bit of a park run.
It's incredible how many people turn up to Park Run.
Yeah.
Down at Eastney, hundreds and hundreds every single week.
So where's Park Run from?
It's down Eastney end of the beach currently because of the works down at Bryony, but it's always along that promenade.
Yeah, so along the promenade, and if someone wants to
Saturday,
go, just turn up 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah, you're supposed to register online to get a QR code, but it's 9 a.m. on a Saturday. You can just turn up, can't you?
Yep.
And I've seen Jess doing it. She's rapid.
Yeah.
Seriously fast.
Whilst you're doing it.
Yeah, well, she's lapped me twice at this point.
Yeah.
But also, Jess has an amazing Instagram account with a whole bunch of great places to eat in Portsmouth as well, which I feel like it would be remiss to not do a shout out for.
Yeah.
So it's called Portsmouth Bites.
Right.
So love going out for food, which fits in quite nicely with the fitness part of it. But we just used to just take loads of pictures and just sit in my camera roll. So now we like to review everywhere we go. So we like to dabble with any of the new places that pop up in Portsmouth. So Portsmouth Bites, we post any pictures, any reviews of all the exciting food places in Portsmouth.
So this is good because I'm fast becoming Shaping Portsmouth's food correspondent. So a couple of weeks ago, I did the food festival. Someone had to go and sample as much as they could, so I took that challenge on. And
Must
then,
have been tough for you, Dave.
Yeah, it was. And then this weekend, I thought I'd step out and do an early visit and review on the Shaping socials of the Giggling Squid. Down in Gunwharf, Portsmouth's newest restaurant, which was great. I had a wonderful time there. So have you tried that one yet?
No, we've got it booked in this weekend though.
I can recommend the pork belly starter. It's amazing.
There we go. Well, if you need serious food inspiration, I would check that Instagram account.
So
just following that.
What's it called again? Portsmouth Bites.
Portsmouth Bites. Yeah.
Portsmouth Bites. We'll definitely be having a look at that one. So thank you, Serenity. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you, Jess. It's been great chatting to you, and good luck with the Youth Violence podcast. We look forward to listening to that soon. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
This podcast was brought to you by Shaping Portsmouth, working to make Portsmouth the #1 UK city in which to invest, live, learn, work and visit. To find out more, please visit shapingportsmouth.co.uk. This podcast was supported by Spark Community Space.